Drew Barrymore answers the phone. She's babysitting it. She thinks it's someone that's trying to hit on her. It actually is a killer. This killer ends up killing her and her boyfriend. Cuts to a bunch of teenagers talking about the murders that happens. Everyone's joking about it. And then it cuts to where another killing happens. That killing happens. They're no longer allowed to be going to school. For when they're going to school, they all go to Steve's house for a party, which they find out that the killer is there and kills all of them. And it reveals to be two of the kids that were in fact the teenagers that we were talking about. All right, cheers. Cheers, dude.
I'm just gonna put this. Oh, God, I can't. I don't know if I can drink all this.
Yeah, no shit. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a wonderful episode of Horror Whiskey Company. I'm your favorite host, Jamie.
And I'm Peter, drinking out of a fucking horn.
That is Peter drinking out of a horn. If you stumbled on this by accident, first of all, we're going to say thank you very much for coming. And It's going to be a wild ride. We are a little sorry. It's nice to see a couple old guys drink a bunch and talk about murder, you know? And so if you do like this, please hit that like and subscribe. Also, that follow that we can get notifications. We are on our quest for 1,000. We need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so Peter can drink Cosmopolitans for an entire year.
Question. Do I have to drink them out of martini glasses or can I drink them out of this beer horn?
Whatever you want.
You know what I could do is I could get another one and like make it pink and sparkly and then it'd be my Cosmo horn.
Your Cosmo horn?
I'm definitely going to do that if we hit 1,000. Awesome.
Yeah, Cosmo horn to it. Horn me up, baby.
I'm all horned up.
I'm all horned up.
Yeah, dude, just hanging with you just gets me horned up, dude.
That's wonderful wording. Well, before we continue to just bore or get people to completely sign out of this, why don't we hook them in and talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight?
All right. So long awaited. We've been talking about doing this forever because Scream 7 has been on the horizon forever. So tonight's episode, as well as the next long episode, like the next main event episode that we have, are going to be covering the 6 Scream trilogy, or the 6 Scream movies. We are going to be covering the first 3 tonight. Next episode will be 4, 5, and 6 in preparation for Scream 7, which comes out on February 28th. We will be releasing these
before then.
Actually, when they're fucking coming out. Yeah, they're going to come out before then. So if you don't want to fucking spend all the time going back and watching all the movies, or if you want to catch up, watch the movies, and then use this supplementally, I would suggest doing that so that you can be the most prepared to go into Scream 7 in theaters on February 28th. The last day of February. Question. Or is it the 27th? Sorry. Shit. Maybe I even fucked that up.
Yeah. How are they supposed to know they can watch this after they watch the movies if they're just tuning in right now? Does that mean you got to stop it? Stop it. Watch the 3 movies.
Yeah, for sure.
And then
I would also say, if you haven't seen the movies, stop. Because we're going to spoil the shit out of them.
The shit came out in 1996.
I know, but it would surprise you to know that I hadn't seen Scream 3 yet. So I was fresh into this one. Yeah. I can see your eyes getting big from here.
I've never seen Scream 3 either.
We'll get into talking about that. But anyways, I would use this. I mean, I guess if you don't want to watch the movies, that's fine too, because we're going to tell you everything you need to really know about them so that we'll save you the time. If you're a high-class businessman that can't be bothered with sitting down to watch cinema, we'll just do it for you. So if you're that kind of guy, just tune in.
But also, thank you. I think that's our
demographic.
Dudes,
super wealthy finance guys that don't have time to watch movies.
Finance bros.
I think that's who we are for.
We're for two broke dudes watch horror for finance bros. All right.
Yeah, we should rebrand. Let's change the name of the podcast.
Beer and Finances. People are like, hey, I logged in for finance questions and I didn't find anything.
Are you guys ever going to talk about finances? We're like, no. You can pretty much see you don't want to take it from us.
They look like they are broke as piss. Speaking of broke as piss. Yeah, let's get into what we're drinking. Why don't you tell me? You already started about the horn.
Yeah, I'm drinking a big ass horn, dude. I'm fucking horned up. I got this Coors Banquet in here. It looks
Banquet?
Like this.
Ooh, dude.
Yeah, dude. Banquet babies.
Now, do you call it a yellow jacket or a yellow belly?
I don't call it that. I call it the banquet beer. Who the fuck calls it yellow jacket?
The nickname for the little bombers like that are yellow bellies or yellow jackets.
No, these are grenades.
Grenade is a Mickey's.
It literally says 1936 stubby bottle on it. So I'm going to call it a stubby. Fun fact. Did you know that this little waterfall right here is not actually in the, what is it? What river is that? I don't know. Anyways, it's not the river that runs into Golden. It's Fish Creek Falls in Steamboat Springs, where I'm from.
Springs.
Yep. Would you look at that?
But yeah,
that's pretty neat, dude.
That is pretty neat. That guy's also from Denver. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that. That's pretty neat. So yeah, I've got that. I'm finishing up. Yeah, I'm drinking JMO Black tonight.
Ooh.
Always a good choice. Jamie, what do you have something peculiar? What have you got over there?
What I have here, we'll just start with my left-hand side, is I'm drinking a tequila Exotico Reposado. 100%.
You fucking tricked me, dude.
Why?
We cheers at the beginning, and I thought you were drinking bourbon because it was brown.
No, so this was on sale. This was stupid cheap, and so I was very excited, so I bought it.
Okay.
And then to the left of me will be my beers that I'll be drinking, which is our
Garage beers.
Chase and Kelsey, go Birds, kinda.
Go Birds, kinda. Birds and adjacent.
And then, like always, I build some sort of cocktail in the for Scream.
He's crafty
in general. So I spent a little bit of time at the old LQ trying to figure out how I wanted to make this, because I knew that I wanted it to kind of look like blood.
Yeah.
I wanted it to kind of be dark.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted it to look like Ghostface's face with a black and a white.
Ooh, and the white.
You can't see.
You can see a little foam on top, dude.
Yeah. So if you can't really tell what it is, I'm going to, I put together a little clip of what I did to make it look like this. And you can stop and grab it and hit it on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, and I will kind of show you step by step how I made this. So you can also have one at your house or at your leisure.
Dude, I love that.
So
that's awesome.
First thing I did is I took cherry juice from some Luxardo cherries, and I took a little spoon and I let it run along little spots on a coupe glass. Let it run down like blood. And then I put said coupe glass back in the fridge or back in the freezer. Just trying to kind of make it to where I see cherry juice would freeze over. Which it didn't.
Okay.
And then next up, I knew I wanted to build this out of vodka because I thought I was going to be really cool and I was going to find Matthew Lillard's Ghostface vodka that he just came out with last week.
No shit.
And I'm like, I'm going to fucking wow the pants off of Peter, and he's not even going to know about this because I'm a fucking city boy and he's just some dumb hick out of the Colorado mountains. Shit, kidding.
I like it. It's just like our relationship mostly just consists of us just like being mean to each other.
I'm a lot meaner to you, and sometimes I feel bad. Like editing, I'm like, man, I am an asshole to him. Like, should I say sorry? I'm like, no, it's just joking. He knows I like it. I care.
I'm literally like a golden retriever. Like, you couldn't say something to hurt my feelings if you wanted to.
I've seen people hurt my feelings, but
you want to go on a walk?
Yes, exactly. So I couldn't find Ghostface vodka, and then I looked it up and found out that it's sold exclusively online, and it was sold out within like 4 hours of it going live. So you can't even get it, but I'm sure eventually you'll be able to get it.
Yeah.
And it's Matthew Lillard came out with Ghostface vodka.
Is it a whole line? Sorry. Is it a whole line of spirits?
Yeah. So it's called like Masquerade Distillery. And they do horror themed spirits. And I think Matthew Lillard has a little bit of his hand in it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. And I really want to find some, and I couldn't. So I already had in my head that I was going to make this with vodka. So I made it with vodka. And then obviously, okay, let's make it a martini because it's vodka, because there's nothing else I want to make with it. So then I looked around and I found some pomegranate liqueur.
Okay.
And with that, I was like, okay, let's make some sort of pomegranate martini. So we got vodka. We got Pama, yeah. And then we need some sort of fresh citrus because it just makes things better. So we got lime juice in there. And then I knew that I wanted to make it a little sweeter because that Pama and that lime juice aren't going to make it sweet. So, but instead of just using our homeboy simple syrup, I decided to give that little darkish color a little better. So I used our good old fashioned grenadine because that, as you know, is a pomegranate based syrup.
Misnomer. It's not cherry. It's pomegranate.
Yes. Most people think it's cherry. It's not. It's pomegranate and orange blossom and a fuck ton of sugar. So
it's mostly just sugar. Let's be honest.
Yeah. So with that is my cocktail. And now I kind of added a little bit of trickery or bartender magic to this cocktail because there's no way if you made it, it would have that beautiful foam like this, or would it be that color? Would it? There's no way vodka pomegranate would make a black color cocktail, would it? I went to our local Whole Foods and I got myself a dietary pill called activated charcoal.
Let's go.
And I cut that pill up, put it up, put a little tiny bit inside there. That's what makes it black. And then a little bartender's secret is there's this thing called free foam, which is kind of like a bitter, it comes in a bitters bottle. And you throw that in, usually you throw it in espresso martinis, and it's pretty much like an aquafaba kind of base thing.
Yeah.
And what it does is it makes it makes a fake foam.
Fuck yeah, dude. You went all out.
It didn't even take that long either. So that is my cocktail.
Dude, I'm legitimately proud of you. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'm like jealous that I don't have one.
And when you poured it down, it was so cool because the red just like shot down and it like foamed up when it was cold. But it's been sitting for a while, so it doesn't look as cool.
Yeah, I was late.
But it is incredible.
Fuck yeah, dude. I love it.
Just
I'm pumped. You went all out and I'm really proud of you.
You think it's I think it's basic enough to where everyone can also do it at home. You don't need the free foam. That was just to make it look fancy. You don't necessarily need to do activated charcoal, but it's fun to make things look black without it doesn't mess with the flavor at all.
Yeah.
So all it does, it just makes all the cocktails you want look black. Yep. And that's how you make things spooky. So
fuck yeah. Dude.
There we are.
Damien, did you mention what the name of this drink is?
So I decided that I was going to name this Ghost of Woodboro.
Ooh. Okay. Sweet. I like that.
Instead of the Hello Sydney, I thought it was better
Sydney.
Ghost of Woodboro. And there we are.
Speaking of the Ghost of Woodboro, I think we should just jump right in because we've been just chitty chatty Cathys over here and the people are probably telling us to move the fuck along with it. So
either that or they already left and it's just me and you talking to each other.
It's just me and you. At this point, let's be real. Mostly. No.
Yeah. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hi, Cheyenne. Yeah, exactly. Hello. So good to see you again. So anyways, let's jump into this Scream. I'm going to call it, what are we going to call the OG trilogy? The original trilogy?
See, yeah, and I had a hard time because Wes Craven also directs the fourth one. So how is this?
What is the?
How does it?
Hold on.
How does the fourth one not go into that?
So the fourth one though is released 10 years later.
Yeah, in 2011. So that's where I was kind of confused.
So I think that the original trilogy was meant to be for Wes Craven. That was kind of like the end. So I think like, because the way that obviously, and we'll get into this, Scream 3 ends, like that's supposed to be the closer, I think. I don't think they planned on making more movies of Scream.
Well, and Wes Craven did. So yeah. But it was a new writer. Correct?
Okay.
4 was a new writer. Well, also 2 was a different. I'm pretty sure this was a different writer too.
Are you sure?
I don't think this was Kevin.
Let me look this up.
Kelvin. This was not Kevin Williamson.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure someone else wrote this movie.
Writers Kevin Williamson on Scream 4.
On Scream 4. Scream 3, though, no.
Scream 3, I think, was also Kevin Williams. I could be Williamson, sorry.
I think it was just story.
Kevin Williamson.
I think he was just characters.
2? Oh, that would make sense. That's why they did that. Like, okay. So we have 1 and 2, Kevin Williamson. 3 is Kevin Williamson is the first credit. So I don't exactly know if that means, but I know what you're saying, where it's like they're giving him writing credit because he created the characters.
Yes, and this is exactly what happened in this movie. Because I looked it up to make sure characters were based off by him, and then the other gentleman.
The other writer on this one is going to be Aaron Kruger, who is the writer of Scream 3. But anyways, at the end of the day, we're here this episode. We're going to run through and do a deep dive into what we're going to call the original trilogy, which is Scream 1, 2, and 3. Because like Jamie said, there is a 4th one that involves pretty much the same crew that we know from the first 3. Aaron Kruger wrote Scream 3, but he's using the characters from Kevin Williamson. So Wes Craven, Kevin Williamson are running all the way through Scream 4. But Scream 4 comes 10 years after Scream 3 is released, whereas these first 3 movies are released almost within years of a year of each other. So we have 1996 is going to be the release of Scream. But anyways, before we get to any of that, we need to talk about the state of horror in the late 80s, early 90s. There's this thought out there that Scream has kind of revitalized the horror genre. And what we mean by that is that by the late 80s, early 90s, we're getting into Halloween 6 as well. Or I can't remember which year Halloween 6 came out. Jason's going to New York. And we are also, Nightmare on Elm Street has gone through, I think they're at 4 at this point. But anyways, they're just kind of making money on selling the same idea over and over again. So it's kind of become this overexploited, predictable, and they're honestly kind of funny. There's some parody in these movies, but they don't have the intent like Scream comes with.
There was definitely a lull that needed to be filled in the horror world. And with that being said, that's where Scream came in, is what you're trying to say, right?
Yeah, exactly. Scream pretty much comes in, and horror was doing all right. There was some specifically Species and some of these other sci-fi kind of horror are actually doing pretty well at this point. The Thing, stuff like that are great horror movies, but the slasher genre as a whole is pretty much, studios are afraid to even touch them because they've kind of been beat to death.
Can I sidebar and say that I watched Species probably 30 times as a kid because I just wanted to see her boobs a lot, and that was my way I could see.
But the movie is also so good.
It's very good.
That's one of those ones
to an 11-year-old boy,
young
11-year-old boy, I watched Species so I could see her boobs. Right? In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have been watching Species at 11 either.
Yeah, no, not at all. But hey, you are here now. Made the things that made us.
Here I am once again, torn into pieces. All right, keep going.
We have this, let's call it just this lull or the studios want nothing to do with slashers until we have this writer who we've been talking about, Kevin Williamson. Now, Kevin Williamson is watching Halloween one night, and he's in his like mid 20s, maybe even early 20s, a college student, and he is legitimately gets scared. So he calls his friend to help calm him down, and then they start talking about horror. And he says that it gave him the entire basis for the movie because his friend asked him, "What's your favorite scary movie?" And it just spun this whole conversation. So initially he was searching for comfort, but he actually found the comfort in the horror genre itself, which is, I thought, a really cool thing.
That is cool.
So
I did not know
he jumps in a car and drives hours and hours into the desert. Apparently, this is in California. He's an LA child. What's the place that they all go? Joshua Tree?
Joshua Tree, yep.
Yeah, he goes up to Joshua Tree and he says he locks himself into a hotel room and he writes Scream. Well, he writes Scary Movie. Now, we should clarify, we're going to be calling it Scream the entire show, but he did initially title this Scary Movie, which I thought was funny because Scary Movie, directed by the Wayans brothers, used that title, and the first one was literally about Scream. Yes. So I thought that was really funny. He writes,
"Make you look gay."
Officer Doofy is maybe the best character in any horror parody I've ever in anything I've ever seen. And the funny part about it is that it's really not that far off from how ridiculous David Arquette is.
Fair enough.
We'll get into some funny parts. David Arquette, love him. He's just silly. So anyways, he writes Scary Movie as this love letter, as well as a critique of the horror genre. And then he gets back into LA, ships it off to a couple different people, and it comes across Wes Craven's desk. Now, his agent immediately is like, "Hey, you should do this." And he's not totally sure. He's the master of horror. Everyone, when you think of a horror director, I would say that 90% of people are going to name Wes Craven first. He's not sure if he wants to jump on to another slasher because he's pretty much gone through the ringer of hate. I think he did. This was before New Nightmare, or actually just after New Nightmare. So he is the creator of the Nightmare on Elm Street series and directed that. He's unsure. Now, what gets him on board is that they're like, "Hey, we have Drew Barrymore attached to this." Okay.
Well, she pushed for this too. She was she really wanted to be in it. I want to be in this movie, which kind of helped to get greenlit to a big studio. I'm pretty sure it was
a big. Miramax saw that they had Wes Craven was actually later. So Drew Barrymore was attached to this thing before the director was, which I thought was really funny because when you look at the grand scheme of things, we get about 5 minutes of Drew Barrymore. But
those are the greatest 5 minutes of my life.
Yeah. So we have this. So eventually Wes agrees and ties him in, and they actually push this movie super hard as Drew Barrymore is featured on the posters, on the all the marketing materials are Drew Barrymore. Everyone's thinking that Drew Barrymore is going to be the lead in this, and she's not, which is, I think, sets the tone for what we expect from this series or what this is going to do for us. My only point in mentioning that is that Drew Barrymore is literally the one who got Wes Craven involved in this. And thank God he did, because I think that this series doesn't exist in the way that we know it without his direction.
And I also just say that they kind of marketed this movie as Drew Barrymore being the star.
Yep.
And you said, she's only in 5 minutes, but she is in every poster, front and center.
It's weird. She's the face of the franchise and is in the trilogy or in all of it for 5 minutes.
Well, she's the face of the first movie. I wouldn't say the whole trilogy, but yes, brilliant.
Well, I think the poster for the movie, I thought that was really cool. We're saying that the horror genre is in a really bad spot, and it's tough to jump into a slasher, but Kevin Williamson's writing is fantastic. We have Wes Craven's direction, and the biggest reason why I think Scream is as successful as it is because of how poor the horror genre was doing at the time, specifically with slashers.
Jamie, I don't remember as an 11-year-old, but yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Do you remember watching this movie for the first time?
Yes.
Did you see it?
I remember I wasn't old enough to be in theaters. I watched it because it was 96, so I was 11.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't think I probably saw this until probably 12 or 13.
Yeah, dude, you were too busy up in your room with your door locked watching Species.
Exactly. You know that I'm from Wyoming. We didn't have no downstairs.
All right. Upstairs. So yeah, this is a single floor. My bad. All right, Jamie, I think we are ready to jump into the first Scream movie. Now, I mentioned this to you earlier. I have come up with a game for you.
Okay.
You're going to pick heads or tails.
Tails never fails, dude.
Tails never fails. All right, I'm flipping the bottle cap just so we know what's going to happen. All right, you want tails? It's tails. All right, you get to pick chug or recap.
Ooh, I'm going to pick recap.
Okay, so the rules to the game are you have to recap the entire first Scream while I chug a beer. If I chug the beer faster than you can recap the entire movie, you have to take a shot. Or, I mean, I'll take a shot. If I drink the beer faster, you take a shot.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, how do we want to start this off?
With a 1, 2, 3, go, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
1, 2, 3, go. All right. Drew Barrymore answers the phone. She's babysitting it. She thinks it's someone that's trying to hit on her. It actually is a killer. This killer ends up killing her and her boyfriend. Cuts to a bunch of teenagers talking about the murders that happens. Everyone's joking about it. And then it cuts to where another killing happens. That killing happens. They're no longer allowed to be going to school. For when they're going to school, they all go to Steve's house for a party, which they find out that the killer is there and kills all of them. And it reveals to be two of the kids that were in fact the teenagers that we were talking about.
Ooh. Sweet, dude. Good recap. I totally kicked your ass.
You know what? It's a lot easier to drink a beer than talk about a whole movie. So you have to do it next. You have to do the next one then. All right.
Oh,
so I take a
shot. Okay. So now we know what happens in this movie, right? Jamie succinctly covered the entire movie. We didn't miss anything. Now that we know what happened, let's talk about why this movie was so successful. Now, to put some things in context, this was a huge hit, blew the box office doors open, and the studio expectations were actually kind of low, despite the cast and how everyone was like, oh, super excited about this movie. The real thing that happened, though, was that this was released into the dead slasher landscape, and it gave life into the whole movie.
Well, they built a rated R version movie, and they geared it towards high school kids. So instead of this being college kids or adults, they're like, we're going to make this relate more to youth, and we're going to still make it edgy. That way they want to watch it and want to get into it.
Yep.
And that's why it worked.
For sure. I think another big question that was on everyone's mind is, how do they make a good slasher movie again? And now we see, having watched the movies, I think the biggest thing that the movie does extremely well is that it's the first movie that I can remember watching, and people have done this and movies have done this kind of since then. But it's a self-aware movie where it kind of knows the landscape that it's existing in, right? It's aware of what has come before it as far as the horror genre is concerned. It's also a horror movie for horror nerds.
It's a murder mystery. It's a whodunit. Yeah. It's where all the slashers before were, we knew who it was, and now this becomes we don't know who this is, and that was something that took everyone by surprise.
Yeah, it kind of blended like that, like traditional slasher that you're talking about with like a mystery, which was really cool. And there's a lot of movies like that did really well with that. I'm thinking notably like Seven had just come out before this. There was like, oh, this is like, it's a whodunit kind of thing. But this was not as high-minded. This movie knows what it is, and I think that's why it was so successful.
Seven also didn't allow itself to be called a horror movie. Like back then, it was bad to be considered a horror movie, so it was just labeled as a thriller. Which you and I know that is a horror movie.
Yep, for sure. Horror is not a genre; it's a vibe, and Seven is definitely in the horror genre or vibe.
I forgot to take my shot. I'm sorry. Cheers.
Oh, dude, you're good. I think that's pretty much the challenge. Was like, how do they take a genre that people are terrified of, like of studios, I mean, and how do they make people fall in love with it again? And I thought that, the biggest thing was this self-awareness that the movie has. It shows a love for the genre that it's existing in, but also like it's smart and it's quick and it's funny and you like the characters because they also are in this, like they're in the horror world. It's like us watching a movie and then being put into that horror genre, right? Like, you don't say I'll be right back. That kind of thing.
Exactly. It was definitely an homage to people who love horror, and it made it seem like all these kids knew about all of it.
For sure.
Jamie Kennedy was fucking so awesome.
Yeah, dude. Him in, I guess I'm gonna say all three movies. Is I don't want to say voice of reason, but he is the one that gives us the rules that these movies are existing with, right? And the rules matter at times, and sometimes they don't. Which I think, but you putting the rules out there does a lot for the series and does a lot for the movies, right? Because we get to understand that there's a whole lot going on. The movie is really well thought out and it's not being mean to its audience. I have my gripes about the first one as far as it's addressing the audience, but I thought that it was really cool to see a character like Jamie Kennedy, who is he's almost like a narrator, tells the audience like, don't do this and like, look out for these things.
Well, I think it was like before there were Marvel movie Easter eggs. This was like a horror movie that was just full of Easter eggs of other horror movies, like an homage.
Yes. Yep.
Paying their respect.
I was going to start out with our discussion here. Just starting with the opening scene, which we have kind of talked about. We have Drew Barrymore on the phone and she's being tormented by the killer, Ghostface, for this. I don't know. It's probably like a 10 or so minute scene. What I really appreciated, and we've watched a lot of horror movies. Mm-hmm. I think that the reason why Scream is so good is because it keeps you captivated from the first minute of the movie to the end of the movie. I think a lot of times in horror, we see a lot of, and writing these episodes even, it's really hard to not do context. Having the suspense run from the opening minute to the closing minute is awesome. I think that's my biggest thing that I liked about all three of these movies, but it sets the tone with the first one, is that the suspense is carried from minute one of the movie all the way through. It's not building or anything. Like the suspense is building, but like we're not introduced and kind of eased into it. It's right away. The phone rings and we get a minute of conversation that's lighthearted, and then all of a sudden it turns. And that once that turn happens, the entire movie holds that intensity. And I just, as far as a horror person goes, like I loved the feel that this movie gave me because it just kept you on the edge of your seat. This is one of those movies you can't fall asleep to if you wanted to, because you're like, gives you that vibe.
I could fall asleep to it just because I could fall asleep to everything. But
that's fair.
And I've seen it a lot.
Yeah. Well, that's Also fair. It's not keeping you like, you're not like, oh, what happens next? What happens next? I haven't seen it as recently, specifically the second one. So I actually forgot who was the killer in the second one. I knew who was the first one. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is almost kind of fun, right? Because now you're watching it and you're like, they're nodding to each other. They're doing these things
the whole
that like
time. You're like, why did I
now
not
that you know? Yeah, exactly.
Right away. They were like, they made it plain as day that they were the fucking killers for the whole opening, like the dialogue hanging out by the waterfall. Like these fucking guys.
Yeah, the waterfall scene particularly, where they're like, Billy and Stu are together. You see them doing like the winks and the nods kind of thing, which I thought was awesome too, because even going back now, like you're talking about like Easter egg type stuff, like that's Easter egg shit where you're like, oh, look, like Stu did this or Billy did that kind of thing. And the rest of the characters don't know, but we know as an audience now, having seen it before and going back and rewatching it. So I thought it's cool to make also a murder mystery that's rewatchable.
Exactly. I probably won't rewatch these for a while, but it'll be nice to watch them again.
A decent deep dive on it.
Yeah.
The biggest critique I have on this movie, and you can agree or disagree, but the movie seems to be almost criticizing us as an audience.
I think it mostly criticizes just how horror movies are, just like how stupid they think we are by making these damsels in distress kind of thing.
For sure. But where I'm going with this is more like, I think Wes Craven probably got a lot of bad publicity with the later versions of Nightmare on Elm Street. And he was like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't you guys scared anymore? Right? Because this movie, the first one specifically, the characters are so strange and that none of them are shocked. None of them are scared of anything. Not just our killers, I would say, right? Like Jamie Kennedy, Randy, and even Sydney, she's like, oh, the killer's calling her. And she's like making jokes about how horror movies are really boring and trite because they're about a dumb blonde with big boobs that like runs around the house when she should have just gone out the front door. Almost like a joking narration of the first scene. But at that point, the dialogue and the way that the characters just are in this movie, it's my only complaint is that it's kind of ridiculous. Is it not? Like they are just so desensitized to this violence. And I think it's Wes Craven's point to be like, dude, you guys aren't like, nothing scares you anymore. You're just ripping on me because like I'm trying to make movies that scare you when they don't anymore because you guys are all animals.
See, I thought everyone was.
Did you get that at all? Sorry.
Pretty scared.
Yeah.
I thought I thought everyone was desensitized to the fact that two people just got murdered as they all just joked about it in the opening scene. But I think like when it came down to like being close to Ghostface, everyone was just like,
so, I mean, yes, in the moment, and I guess this is, as a host of whatever we are, a horror true crime podcast, where I don't want to say desensitized, but it's a little different when it's happening to you versus when it's happening to someone else. And I think that's what we're seeing in this movie is and this is just a guess, is that Wes Craven's like, dude, fuck you guys. Like, you guys want to be monsters? Go for it.
Well, there's definitely, so Drew Barrymore talks about how the first Nightmare on Elm Street is good and all the rest of them suck.
Which is really funny.
Well, it's because Wes Craven had nothing to do with those other ones.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure Wes Craven did New Nightmare and he did Nightmare on Elm Street. And those are the only two that all the other ones in between were just based on what he came up. So that was his jab at it.
Yeah, he's not the director on 2.
Oh, how the student becomes the teacher.
He did direct 3.
Okay.
Oh no, he wrote on 3. Although they're probably just giving him writing credits because
characters.
they're characters created by.
Yeah, that's what. If you're looking at IMDb,
Okay.
you have to like go really in, and it's like based on characters.
Yep.
So that's, I think, instead of it being Wes Craven like getting mad at everyone else, I think it was Kevin Williamson just wrote his first movie ever.
Yep.
And I think he just kind of was a little naive to the fact that people are that just distraught. Other than like Sydney is very distraught the whole movie.
Well,
everyone
for sure.
else,
but he's also a horror fan, so he's almost writing himself in place. Like you have to like think of who your writer is. The whole movie is from him, right?
It's a love letter. It's literally a love letter to slashers. The whole thing is just something about Jason, or mostly about Mike Myers.
Yep.
And Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. We have our not Drew Barrymore. Our real final girl is actually going to be Sydney Prescott. She is this interesting character because it's weird. All the other characters are honestly kind of like into the horror thing. I feel like I don't know, Tatum, and it's mostly just Sydney and Tatum are the girls that we get to meet like in the serious point, but she's kind of not into the horror thing where everyone else around her is just in love with it. And I thought that was interesting to have someone who's like, she's almost removed by how like she doesn't want to associate. She doesn't want to get into the horror thing. She's like, when they're talking and they're making jokes about it, she's like, are you guys fucking kidding? Like, what's wrong with you?
Exactly. She's the sympathetic one. I think that's the way of them kind of like making us like bringing us to that character as the person that we're going to sympathize with, or that's the person that we are going to be on the side of, is because everyone else is just like fucking joking about it. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? This is serious.
I think she has a line like, are you literally that? So I thought Sydney was a really cool new version of like a final girl that we get that is not stereotypical, but also she is at least aware of the genre. And I think that gives her a lot more leeway to act in the way that is safe to her, right? She knows not to go up the stairs, or she knows this or that. She knows to fucking shoot the villain in the fucking head, because if you don't want him to come back, it's the only way. And that comes all the way back. We'll get to it at the end of. Yep.
Exactly.
But anyways, we also like have this huge mystery going on about who's the killer and stuff like that. Do you remember? Because like honestly, it's hard to remember watching it the first time, but was it at all shocking that it was 2 killers instead of 1?
Yes. I remember as a kid being like, this is fucking brilliant. And I probably didn't say that. I was like, this is cool.
How did I not see that? Yeah.
Wow. Like this is something we would never would expected.
Yeah. I just remember I watched this far later. I was maybe even out of high school at this point when I watched it for the first time. But I do remember having there be more than 1 killer be like a mind blowing, like, of course there's more than 1 killer, because it gives the other person the ability to get the alibi pretty much. Do we like the motive in this? That Billy decided to terrorize Sydney and everyone around her because his mom left?
Because his mom left, and then his dad started boinking Sydney's mom. And that's what made him so
flip-flop that.
No, it was
Billy's mom left because Billy's mom and Sydney's dad were, or sorry.
No, Sydney's
mom and Billy's dad were hooking up.
Oh, I thought she left.
That's why the mom left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. So that's why he decided to put everything on Sydney.
Yep. There's also like, they have this, and then we have Stu, who is Matthew Lillard. I have to say he's, like we mentioned, Jamie Kennedy doing a fantastic job. Nev Campbell did a fantastic job. But fuck, dude. Matthew Lillard is so goddamn good in this movie. It's so awesome.
Hands down, he's the best character.
Yeah.
Just like the whole thing, like the ad lib where he's like, you're really calling the cops? My mom and dad are be so mad.
So mad. Yeah.
I'll be
you
right
fucking
back.
in with the phone, you fucking dick.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite line of the entire series so far. Even with the fucking phone, you dick.
You got to think that's probably all Matthew Lillard doing too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's
like
probably not even written like that.
No, he did all that.
Matthew Lillard's character, though, like, doesn't have a motive. He's just one of these psychos that, like, he's too into horror, right? I think, is that what we're going to decide for him for his motive?
No, I think he's just wants to help his boy, and he is kind of obsessed with horror, and he just thought he could kind of get away with it, kind of thing, like rich boy kind of thing.
Yep, exactly.
Do you want to talk about the rumors about Matthew Lillard?
What rumors?
Have you not heard?
No.
Will I ruin it for you?
Sure, go ahead, ruin it. Are we breaking news? Clip this.
So there are buzz, bees, rumors that Matthew Lillard will make a comeback.
Oh, I have heard this because he was not shot in the head.
No, he had a TV fall on his head.
Yep.
But
which was awesome.
He wasn't shot, but he wasn't shot in the head. So you have heard this. I think
I have heard that.
There's no way he's the killer.
Yeah.
I don't think, but I think they might bring him back.
No, it'd be almost too obvious if he's the killer.
Yes.
But anyways, yeah, I know that he's in it, right? He's credited as being in Scream 7.
We don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah,
it was his voice at the end of the trailer. I can tell you that.
Like in, is that 3 where Sydney's mom is in it a bunch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fake mom.
Maureen.
Ghosts. All right. Keep going.
Finishing up this one. So do we ever think that the meta, the self-aware, self-referential, it's a positive, net positive for the movie, right? It's not like, oh, this is kind of ruining it for me.
No, I thought that was my favorite part of the movie was the homage.
I agree. Yeah. My least favorite part is definitely going to be the fact that there are all these horror obsessed people in the movie. And it makes it hard for me to almost take it seriously. Did you not get that? I feel like you're pushing back on that a little bit.
No, it's kind of over the top with how much how much lore they did towards the movies. But I wonder if it was because they didn't think any kids that were going to watch this knew any of that. And that was a way for them. I kind of think of Cat in the Hat that came out with Mike Myers, where they're like, hey, you as a dad are going to have to take your kids to this.
Yeah.
And so I thought in Scream, they're like, I'm going to have to take a bunch of dads are going to have to take their kid to this because it's rated R and they're going to bring their 6-year-old kids to it. And so we're going to throw a whole bunch of homages to the horror movies that they like.
Yeah.
That way they're like, hell yeah. That way it's not like a little kid movie to them. That's what I thought about it.
Yep. Okay. That's fair.
And this is going to be a hot take, and I didn't want to say it because I know it's going to bother you, but my least favorite thing about this is the killer.
Really?
I don't like Ghostface. I don't.
What don't you like about Ghostface? And this is going to be over the trilogy or just in this one specifically?
Kind of in general.
Yeah.
I just don't, he's not my favorite slasher.
I mean, for sure.
I don't know if they tried to be too suspenseful or the fact that it's someone new every single time, but it just the way he was perceived, it just wasn't scary to me. It was just they're running away from some person. And that's it.
And he's also clumsy as shit. But like, that's the thing though, is that we're not dealing with, in a lot of other slashers, like a supernatural being that is overpowered and all this. Like, we're dealing with a human being. And absolutely. I think that's, I get what you're saying for sure. It's maybe not the most suspenseful because it's not this, like, it doesn't give the vibe that Ghostface is inevitable, right? You can stop it. In fact, they do all the time.
They do. They stop him every single time. Yes.
But I also think that's what makes him a little scarier, or like why I like it so much is because it's a lot scarier when the killer's human.
Mike Myers is human.
And you never know who it is, right?
Mike Myers is human.
Michael Myers is like the embodiment of evil, dude.
But he just always lives.
I know. That's what I'm saying, right? Like, these are normal, everyday. That's what I do like about it. So I'm going to push back on you a little bit. I do like the fact that it's a human being that is responsible for these things, and they have their motivations and they have their reasons, and they're clumsy and they miss and they fucking get fucked up sometimes. But I thought that it was really cool.
All right. Well, so it's okay to,
but either way, no, for sure.
We all have different. Yeah. It's just, to me, like, I'm going to choose Halloween every time.
Yeah.
Over Scream. I'm sorry.
Michael Myers. Yeah. Or you mean as a franchise, you just like the Halloween franchise better?
I like the Halloween franchise better.
Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, that's the part that kind of is my pushback on the movie. But I think the rest of it kind of, I appreciate a lot more. Like, I like the character development of this movie specifically than a lot of other slasher movies that we see. Like, everything else is just kind of like Laurie's just like in Halloween, Laurie's just like, oh no, like, I'm running away, I'm hiding. Or just like any Friday the 13th movie is just like, okay, I'm going to be at a camp and I'm going to bang and then I'm going to run away.
Where this we get like, the rules, right? And you break the rules, you die.
Well, this definitely builds like a huge, like a character and a caring about the people that are actually there, where you want these people to survive.
Right. I thought the movie did such a good job with that.
Yes. And that's why you'll see like that many people that still continue to survive in the Scream franchise compared to all the other slashers.
Yep.
Does that make sense to you?
Yep. Yeah, no, totally. And I think that also you have a very good point as far as who the killer is, who the slasher is, that gives this, it's not the most scary vibe. I'm totally with you on that. Yeah. I just have a difference of opinion, dude.
That's freaking okay, man.
So anyways, anything else we want to mention about Scream 1? Favorite kill?
Tatum.
Yeah. All right, sweet. Definitely Tatum. Getting stuck in the garage door.
We also talked about, it's hands down the best one, because literally all Ghostface does is just like sharpen or like clean his blade off as she does this to herself.
Yep.
Yep.
Sweet. Favorite line from the movie? Mine is definitely fucking him with the phone, you dick.
I think that, or Matthew Lillard, my mom and dad would be so mad at me.
My mom and dad was so mad.
Or I had, where it was like, our movies rated, our relationship is a rated R movie, but I wish it could be.
It was so bad.
I wish it could be an NC-17. And then she goes, "Would you settle for a PG-13?"
PG-13, and like shows her opening the shirt from the back so you can't see anything. See, I honestly, when you said that this movie was rated R, I was like, shit, I have to go look up because I thought that it was PG-13. It is rated R, just so we know.
There's too many F words in this thing.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. But anyways, that is also, see, I hate that line.
I do too, but I just like,
it's so bad, but it's also really funny.
Yes, that's why I liked it. It was like, it's the most memorable to me, other than stews, because I kind of knew you were going to pick a stew one because they're just awesome.
All right, and last question I have for this before we move on. The best horror reference in the movie,
other than "I'll be right back," I would say that maybe Billy's last name is Loomis. Is pretty cool.
Dr. Loomis, who's the psychologist for the Doctor in Halloween. I thought that Wes Craven had done the first 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So I love Drew Barrymore saying that the first one was good, but the second 2 or like 2 and 3 sucked, because I thought that it was Wes Craven being like, yeah, I know. I really farmed it on those ones. My bad.
That's him being mad at him. That's him being mad at everyone else because he wasn't part of it.
Yep. It's really funny.
No, I think we should move on, or else we're going to be here for 7 hours.
Yep, exactly. So after Scream releases, the genre has tons and tons of life, right? And immediately they're like, hey, we're making another one, right? We're going back. We're doing a sequel. So all of a sudden, we have Scream, who kind of broke the mold to make a movie, and it worked incredibly well. But how do you do the pitfalls of what ruined the slasher genre and not ruin your movie, right? Because for the most part, what sucked about all these other slasher franchises is that they just kept making new movies, and they just kept doing sequels and sequels and sequels, all this stuff. So the big question was, how do they make a sequel and make it not suck? And the biggest question I think that they went to address with this movie is, can we make a sequel that's better than the first or than the original, right?
Yeah.
And of course, that is not just a theme that is in everyone's mind as this movie is coming out. Released under a year, or it's like, I think an 11-month deadline or something like that. They had the second one out. Not only how do they make a sequel that is better than the first, but it's in the movie, so we already know that they're self-aware of it. So, Jamie, we are now to the recap section of Scream 2. Are you ready to chug an entire beer?
I am.
All right. You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. All right. So Sydney Prescott and all of her friends that have survived from the first episode, or from the first series, are now in college, and the killer comes back. I thought you were done already. And pretty much just starts killing everyone, just like they did in the first movie. Wow. Good work. That was seconds, dude. Holy shit.
I drink a lot of beer.
Pretty much what we come to understand is that, this killer kind of has bigger plans, and we find out that it is Billy Loomis's mom from the first movie, and a random person that she found on the internet that wanted to kill people too. Anyways, good work. You chugged that way too fast. That was like maybe 10 seconds.
You chugged yours pretty fast too, dude.
It seems longer, right? When you're chugging, it does seem like it's taking a lot longer, doesn't it?
I thought it was taking a long time.
Did I miss anything? Yeah,
I have no idea. I did not hear anything you said,
okay,
other than Billy's mom hired.
Billy's mom is the killer,
the
and she connects with a random person that is also in Woodsboro, who comes and starts killing people, helping her out. So we have that same.
They're in college now.
Yep.
They're film or drama students.
Yep. Which I think is interesting. Sydney is one of those people that, like, she is a very awesome character, but you can see it, and specifically the second and the third movies, she really wants to be someone else.
Yes.
And so this acting is a way for her to like step outside of herself and be someone different. Yeah. Randy's rules here are pretty much limiting, like setting the stage for what the sequel is going to be. It's going to be bigger and bloodier. And I can't remember what the second rule is. Do you remember?
No, I'm sorry.
It's cool. But anyways, the big thing is that the sequel has to be bigger. Right. Mm-hmm. And I thought that it was really cool that Scream survives this sequel trap. One, by it's now even more meta or self-aware than the first one, where the first one existed in the world of horror. The second one is existing not just in that world of horror, but also the fact that this first movie has happened. Everyone's on edge, and in Woodsboro, are they in Woodsboro still?
No, they're in a college.
Okay, I didn't know if it was Woodsboro College or something.
It's not. It's something else different, but they don't really explain where it's at. They just say that it's not Woodsboro because Dewey comes back. Dewey comes, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" Is the only reason what I knew.
Yeah. We also, there's definitely, we didn't really get too much into Gale and Dewey. We talked about kind of all the other characters for the most part. But they have a really interesting relationship, and I think it just gets heightened in this movie. Or I guess heightened, but also diminished, I guess. It's really hard to say what the deal is with Gale and Dewey in the second movie.
They're just kind of like, they're like a will they, won't they? Like the whole first movie, they were like, they're going to fall in love, and they kind of kiss, and then that was it. Yep. And then I think they're kind of mad at each other, but still love each other kind of thing.
Yep, exactly. So what do you think, like, one, did you like the movie?
Scream 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might say that I liked it better than the first, but it's either that or it's like equal
I would say literally the same thing. I think that I love the first movie for nostalgia's sake. But I will admit, I think that the second movie might be a better movie.
I think maybe the reveal, the killer reveal is the only thing I didn't care for.
That's fair.
Because it was just like, okay, it was like,
both of the killers, or just you didn't like the one?
It just seemed like, okay, the chick from Roseanne is Billy Loomis's mom. And she just only talks to Gale, and she's just always kind of there first.
Yep.
And it's just like, dude, that's it. She's going to avenge her son, which, is maybe it's a like homage to Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
But it
definitely has that Pamela Voorhees vibe to it for sure.
But other than that, I just think I enjoyed like the kills better. I enjoyed a lot of the suspense.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just looking up Mickey, that's his name.
Her boyfriend?
No, Jerry O'Connell is Derek.
Mickey's the killer.
Yep, Mickey's the killer. I was like, what the fuck was his name? I can't even remember.
Exactly.
But anyways,
like he was kind of just a little bit in the movie.
Yeah, it's a little fringy. I think that was also one of my bigger complaints is like I felt like the killer reveal wasn't, compared to the first movie, as good. But I thought everything else was awesome. I think that we got a much bigger, more suspenseful. The kills were crazy. I specifically remember
broad daylight.
Yeah. It's not alone. Like when the character's alone, they're not in danger. It can happen fucking anywhere. I really love it, and we'll get into it with our favorite kill, but the one where he's chasing Sarah Michelle Gellar through the house was hilarious and fun, and he just like fucking, as the kids say, yeets her. He just yeets her right off the porch.
I don't know what yeets is.
Like, they yeet things. They just chuck it.
Oh, yeah.
He just like grabs her, throws her right off the top balcony.
I remember that part. I just didn't know what yeets was.
Yep. They yeeted, dude. You yeet something, you just chuck it.
Okay.
But yeah, the suspense was awesome. I think maybe the best scene in the series that we've watched so far is when the cop car has crashed and Sydney and her friend have to crawl out the window over Ghostface.
How is this dude passed out that long?
He's fucking car crash, dude.
And how do you not just be like, rip his mask off and fucking just started choking him?
I wanted her to pull the mask, but I think that's like what makes that scene great. Because like you know, like, oh, fuck, like if I take the mask off, he's going to fucking wake up.
Yeah, but
I also get like needing
choking.
to know. Yeah.
She could have like, she like her friend could have fucking held him down and she could have choked him. Like
for sure. I agree. But yes. But at the same time, it's understandable to get the fuck out.
Exactly. It's definitely the most suspenseful scene of all three movies.
There's that one, and then also the chase through the sound studio. I thought that was awesome with Gale.
I thought it was great. Yeah.
And like we haven't really talked too much about soundtrack and stuff like that, but you go and you watch those, and I don't mean to dog on the foundation of horror and stuff like that, but I feel like going back and watching movies from the 90s, the 80s, the 70s even, this movie, for when it came out, did a really good job with like using the sound to scare you or to make you uneasy, right? I remember in the first one, there was some weird sounds that were going on that, like in Scream 1 even, that were like, oh, that's like, it's a really uncomfortable sound. It kind of gets your like skin on edge, or like puts you on edge. And I think that this movie did really cool, specifically the one in the sound booth where they're on opposite sides of the, soundproof wall, and we can see Dewey getting killed, but he can't hear anything. She can't hear anything. I thought that was really cool.
Dewey doesn't die, dude.
I know, but
yeah, but
he should have.
Like he's going to. Yes, I kind of thought, like, is he alive?
Yeah. I think they definitely dialed back I would just call it the ridiculousness of the characters. They have the opening scene in the movie theater, which I thought was pretty interesting, where everyone's just a huge horror movie nerd and a nut and so insensitive to a crime that happened less than a year ago. They're all just like wearing their Scream masks or their Ghostface masks and all this stuff. But outside of that scene, and I think that scene is meant to be like a reflection, like, you guys are still ridiculous. Don't forget, obsessed with horror, you guys are the problem. I always when I watch this, that's how I see it. But
it's pretty racist too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right? It's like there's three people that aren't white in this movie, and two of them die right away.
That's fair. Yep. 100%. Yep.
But it was just like back in the 2000s, they're like, oh, look at me, I'm racially appropriate.
It's also the token black guy that dies immediately.
Yeah. Well, they're like, we're not racist. There's 3 black people in this movie. And it's literally 2 of them die right away. And then one's the friend that's kind of not in it until that one scene, like in the car, which the scene is awesome. I kept thinking, I'm like, man, this is definitely the 2000s. It reminded me so much of I Know It, the second I Know You Did Last Summer. I'm like, you
100%
could definitely tell that it's the same dude that wrote them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so we should also clarify. Yeah, Kevin Williamson, the writer for Scream 1 and 2, is also the writer for I Know What You Did Last Summer 1 and 2.
She's like, yeah, Sydney needs a black friend, and like that's just what they thought of.
Yeah.
So yes, pretty racist beginning. I'm sorry to say it.
Sure.
I'm like, man, like these are 2 great actors, and they're
right. Omar Epps and Jada Pinkett Smith die immediately, but again, they set the tone with that in the first movie, right? We know that these big name actors are going first.
Exactly. But I was just like, the 2000s.
I mean,
we won't go there.
Anyways, so I thought that what was really cool is that we got kind of like the meta commentary in the first movie where it exists in the horror genre. I thought it was really cool to also set this movie, not just in that, we also have this huge world that exists around the Woodsboro murders. And Gale is a huge part of that. Do we like Gale at all in this second movie?
I like her way more in the second movie than I do in the first. So yeah.
Yeah. I completely agree. Gail sucks in the first movie.
Yeah, she still kind of sucks in the second one.
She sucks in all of them. We'll get to it when we talk about Scream 3. But
I think I like her a little bit better in the second one. Yeah. Even though she's like did a lot more shitty things in the beginning of the second one. She just seems like she's trying to save Dewey a little bit more in this first one instead of just trying to like.
Yeah. As far as like, so we've talked about sequels and how they kind of get pigeonholed mostly by like the rule is it has to be bigger and more brutal kind of thing. What about this movie worked and didn't work for you?
I think what worked is that like fast pace murders and the things that were successful in the first one where it was just kind of like constant suspense. And I'd say the thing that didn't work for me was like the ending was where I was like.
Yeah, I think the ending was the big thing for me. It's the only real complaint I had about the movie. The reveal just wasn't something that I cared about, I guess.
I barely saw these people.
Yeah, like, oh, this doesn't matter. Like, oh, I can't remember what I was thinking of, but like, yeah, listen to like true crime podcasts, especially like Mr. Ballin and stuff like that. We'll have episodes and it's like, and at the end of the day, it was this person. It's like, I've never even heard of that person. Like, why? You tricked me pretty much. Like, you didn't mention this person at all. How can they be the one responsible? Yeah, it's like, it's not tricky. It's just, you just didn't tell me.
No, exactly. Like, why was that? It wasn't a surprise to me. They didn't like lead it up. And I think they did a better job of kind of trying to trick us in the third one, but kind of not.
Yeah, I think they did a lot of work putting the red herrings in to this movie, but they didn't have the punch that like needed to be delivered at the end because they didn't spend enough time with the characters that were the ones responsible, right? Like I couldn't tell you other than scenes that featured other people, a scene that Mickey was in with Sydney. And same thing with the reporter. Like, I can't tell you, like, yeah, she talked to Gail a lot, but like, that's about it.
That was it.
I didn't totally love that, but I loved almost everything else about the movie. I thought they did a really cool job making this movie the bigger, more loud, brutal, all of it. We move from a high school to a college. We start out, our opening scene isn't in this house watching a horror movie by yourself, right? We're in this packed movie theater. Kind of, again, it shows that the movie is self-aware enough to say, hey, I know what this is. Here it is. But I'm also going to do a good enough job of it to make you want to keep watching.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
All right. Favorite kill from this one?
I would definitely probably say the whole Jamie Kennedy scene. Like, in the
courtyard.
In the courtyard, like completely broad daylight where you think he's going to get away around. And then gets pulled into the van and gets fucking murdered. Yeah.
Yep. And then the fucking dudes come walking by with the boombox.
Yeah.
Again, you can't like, I don't feel so much for the third one, but with these first two movies, like the 90s are such a piece of these movies that it's really funny. Like, in the first one specifically, like the Blockbuster movie store scene, like it just makes you like nostalgic. It feels nostalgic in that sense. Same thing with like the quad and like the dudes that are walking by while Randy's getting murdered with like the boombox on their shoulder. It's kind of silly, but at the same time, it's like, oh, those were the days.
Yeah. What was your favorite kill?
I think Sarah Michelle Gellar just getting thrown off the porch, like that balcony, was really good. I also really liked Omar Epps' kill, the first kill of the movie. Yeah. So there's a scene, and it's also going to be probably my favorite callback or like reference. But in Black Christmas, there's this thing where like someone keeps saying like, Billy, mommy's here, Billy. Mm-hmm. And that's what someone's whispering in the other stall next to where Omar Epps is. And so that's why he's like putting his ear up to it. And then the knife just goes straight through the side of the thing into his head. I thought that was a pretty like it completely caught me by surprise. I was not at all ready for that.
I had to look up like what they were saying, and it was like it was an homage to Black Christmas. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yep. So super referential. I really like that one because it has the reference to The Kill as well. So I think those are my favorites. Best line from the movie?
Oh, I couldn't.
I don't remember any of the lines in this one.
Everything is literally written down on my phone, and my phone is literally right there.
Right there.
There's nothing. I don't think there was a memorable one like there was.
Yeah. I think any of the scenes where Dewey like gets real smart, I think are really funny. Where he's like, he has some scene. I can't remember what exactly he says to her, but they do it again in the third movie. And I just think it's really funny when Dewey's like shows that he's more than just a dumb cop or like a lovable idiot kind of thing.
I love Dewey, dude.
Yeah, Dewey's awesome. I just also think that he's such a dummy.
So what, dude? Sometimes dummies save a lot of people. He was pretty brave, even though he acted like he wasn't in the first two. The third one, he was not brave.
Yeah,
he's kind of brave. I guess the whole scene where
the third one is so fucking funny. We'll get into it.
Yeah, where Dewey like repeats everything that Gail wrote bad about him.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yep.
Yeah. So I think that might be like my favorite lines as well.
Reference. I've got mine. That Black Christmas reference I think is awesome. I think we're good to move on, dude.
What was another reference? I feel like there was just not a lot. There were not like the first one had so many where I had a hard time finding more. And the only one I really like full on remembered was the Black Christmas one. And you already took that.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry.
Do you remember another one? I'm sorry.
Oh,
that way I don't sound like an idiot.
One of the funniest things is when Dewey lands on top of Gail and just like hands on boobs. And then they like something else happens where he doesn't need to keep doing that. And then it cuts back to him. I think that was like, that's not a referential thing. I think that was really funny though. I think favorite lines or references, I guess, not necessarily a horror reference, but when they talk about how Gail Weathers was like, you can find her nude pictures online, and she says it was just my head, it was actually Jennifer Aniston's body.
Yeah, just
which is I thought that was pretty funny
to her and Friends. Yeah.
And they keep doing that throughout specifically the second and third one. This nod to Friends again. Also having David Schwimmer play Dewey is really funny. And Tori Spelling actually comes back and plays Sydney, which she's like, in the first one, she's like, fucking really hope it's not fucking Sydney, or I hope it's not Tori Spelling. And of course they cast her as Tori Spelling.
Yeah.
Were we at all confused by why exactly they like scene for scene made like they had this scene between Billy and Sydney like word for word from the first movie? Were you bothered by that at all? When fucking Owen Wilson has this awful fucking wig on and he's talking to Tori Spelling. Oh, sorry, not Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson. And they're talking about like, it wasn't me. Like they're in the hallway at the school. And it's like, it's the same exact scene. It's just different characters.
I thought that was awesome. I thought
it was awesome too.
I think that was one of my favorite parts.
But I just thought that it was strange that they had like the exact lines that were said. And like Sydney's not talking to Gail about this.
How were they known? Exactly.
I was a little thrown off by that, but I did think like, yeah, having the characters play them in other movies was really funny. Who's going to play you in a movie, dude?
Jack Black.
Jack Black. Fucking hell yeah, dude. I can see you as Jack Black.
Kevin Smith.
Fair. I could see both of them.
Who's playing you, dude? That hockey player?
No, dude, I'd probably, I don't know, Brad Pitt or
obviously
maybe Chris Pine or I don't know, just one of those really, really handsome guys.
Yeah, I'm sure. Obviously. All right.
No, I think I'd like to be played by like Zach Krieger.
You want the director to play you?
Well, I don't know if I'd want him directing the movie. I actually probably would want him directing the movie, but I'd also...
You just want him you want him to play you?
Yeah.
Has he ever acted anything?
Yeah, dude. He's Whitest Kids You Know.
Oh, yeah. I forget this.
Let's move on to Scream 3. So...
Sounds great.
The big thing that I noticed with a trilogy, right? We're kind of setting up like a 3-act structure where the first act, Scream 1, is going to be the introduction, the setup. It's going to give us the ground rules. Act 2 is going to be the escalation, the introduction of some foil, or something like that. And then the third act is always going to be your resolution and reveal. I think before we get too into it, did we like the reveal in this of our killer?
Yes. I thought it was a little bit more definitely more suspenseful than the first two. Also just one person.
Yep. Departure and a new thing. And I thought that it was awesome because I was waiting for someone else to pop up in the last scene, which I thought was really cool.
Also, he died in that coffin, we thought. So I thought that was cool. And everything kept pointing towards Patrick Dempsey's character. So it's just like...
For sure. This movie did...
well, where's he at? Where's he at? I haven't seen Detective here. You're like... So they knew that everyone was catching on and trying to solve it. So they just...
they had to fuck with us.
Astray. And that's when I was they're obviously... He is definitely not the person that's doing this because they are hyping it up way too much.
It's so much that it's like, it can't be him. But then you're like, fuck, they're fucking with us. Maybe it is him. It's so hyped up that they know that they're doing it. And then they're also going to be like, but it also was him. Why didn't you guys pay attention? It's like, no, damn it. But they did such a good job. I didn't really I thought that it was going to be Sydney's double. I don't remember what her name is. The girl that plays Sydney in the movie. I thought that she was going to be Sydney's sister.
I thought it was going to be the second one for sure.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this girl.
There's something weird with her eyes or her acting or something like that. She was really weird.
Well, they also she stole that mask. You're like, oh yeah, she's...
But then that kind of makes it a little too obvious kind of thing. I don't know.
No, they were just... They're tricking us. Good.
Anyways, speaking of tricking us, what do we think of the movie being made about the movie of making a movie?
Oh, I hated that part.
I love the meta. I thought it was super cool.
I don't.
Shit,
this
dude,
is just...
We got to chug some beer, dude.
Okay.
Sorry, we got...
You forgot. You're the one in charge.
I did. Yeah. Heads or tails for the last one. Okay.
Tails never fails, dude.
Tails never fails. It's heads.
Tails is never supposed to fail.
But Tails has never failed me ever. Anyways,
what are we
ready
doing?
to chug some beer, dude?
Oh, I'm chugging?
Yep. You're chugging beer. All right.
I'll give you a 10-second start too.
Yeah. 3, 2, 1. All right. So the entire movie starts. We actually get Cotton, who was introduced to us in the first movie. He's the guy that maybe was Sydney's mom's killer in the beginning. Not anymore. So anyways, he dies. We learn that there's a killer that's killing people that are in the movie that is being made about the Woodsboro murders. Turns out that Sydney has a brother from another thing where his mom was just sleeping around with people in Hollywood. And apparently she has another kid, and he's mad at Sydney because his mom is dead.
Yep. Because his mom rejected him.
Okay. That's what it really is. Yeah. And we also find out that not only is he the killer of the third movie, but he was also influential in getting Billy to kill Sydney's mom. So we do get this really, I thought it was a really nice wrap up. Kind of gives the whole thing. It was a good resolution, I thought, to the story where not only is he the killer in the third, but he also is responsible for all these events that have happened. It kind of gives him this like overlord kind of vibe where he's setting all this stuff up. Everything is happening in the world because of him.
Where was he in the second one then?
Well, I mean, Billy's mom is responsible. I would imagine maybe like I don't know if he was ever involved in her finding someone online to just be a killer and blame it on movies, which we didn't really talk about. But it does definitely have like this, I don't know, maybe she was tech savvy enough to find someone on the dark web.
Blame it on the rain.
Maybe he was involved in linking those two up. But what'd you think of that resolution? The trilogy coming to a close, and we get this level of understanding that, oh, there's someone behind this. There's a master of all these puppets.
I thought it was smart what they did. I liked this reveal probably better than all the other ones.
Yeah.
Just because it's like they put a little bit more thought into, we're not like kind of like throwing us in a different direction. Specifically, like Rowan is just like dead. He's like,
yep.
Like, oh, it's obviously not him. It's got to be her. It's like it's got to be the dude that directed all the movies. Yeah. Like, wait, it was Rowan the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, but we had seen that before, right? Is that in the second one where someone wasn't actually, they faked a death? Or did that happen in the first one? Oh, Billy fakes his death.
Yes, Billy fakes
in the first one. So when people died in this, even watching the second and especially watching the third, I didn't trust it at all. I was like, yep, they're faking it. They're all faking it, which I kind of didn't like because I'd like to get some answers as the story progresses. And I didn't feel like I was able to because it was always just like, I don't know if I can trust that person's actually dead.
There was also not a lot of murders. Really?
Yeah.
It was like 3.
Yeah.
And they were all like predictable because it was about to happen.
Oh, dude, this is definitely my favorite of the original trilogy.
So number 3 is your favorite?
For sure. I thought it was awesome, but I was going to say the house blowing up scene was like my favorite.
Oh, hands down. It was so good.
He's like reading the facts out and he's like, except like, ignite the flame or something like that. Like he like lights the lighter because he can't read, but the propane's been on. God, that was so awesome.
Yes, I think that was definitely my favorite kill. I think the dialogue between the characters wasn't my favorite, but I think there were things like that where it's like, yeah, all right. That whole scene,
so speaking of the writing, oh, sorry, keep going.
That whole scene in like Woodsboro built out in
Sydney's house.
In that scene was awesome.
Yeah.
That whole like
again, super meta, right? We're in a movie that's talking about it's just really, really meta. Like so deep. I honestly thought I was like, dude, if they're really trying to like push this to like the ultimate boundary, I thought that the whole thing was going to be fake and that the movie was going to be them making a movie about putting these characters back into a situation like this as if it was a reality TV show.
Oh, kind of like Halloween H2O, dude.
Yes, kind of like that.
Also written, I'm pretty sure Kevin Williamson wrote that too.
Is it that one? No, it's not H2O that you're thinking of. You're thinking of Halloween, where they go into his house, into the Myers house.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Which is the one? Nah, let's look it up. There's the boy.
H2O is the one that is in California, where
with Busta Rhymes, dude.
That's not this one. That is, I believe. Oh God, Halloween. It's the one after this one, Halloween 7.
Oh, H2O is the one that was like pretty good.
Yeah.
So it's the one where it was like a cam. They were like, oh,
Resurrection? Is that what it is? Yep. No. It's definitely Halloween Resurrection. Where they're making the like reality TV show about going into the Myers house. Yeah. So but like, I was like wondering how they could push the boundaries of meta even further. I was like, are they making a movie about making a movie about making a movie about a TV show? But turned out that wasn't the case. But anyways, as far as
triple meta.
Yeah, dude, meta on meta. Do you think that we got the closure? Like, was this a good end to the series?
I thought
we're not story building anymore. How are we tying this all together?
I just thought Patrick Dempsey, like, why is he at the end? Was the only other thing that was like, okay, so he is Sydney's new love interest?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Like, he's like, yeah, come watch a movie.
It's a secret.
Yeah. I don't even remember what the guy's name was. Was one of my favorite characters that had the really funny lines. Patrick Dempsey's partner, where they're like,
yeah, me neither.
Do you think this is tied to the Stabbed movies? He's like, well, the movie is called Stab. He was stabbed.
Yeah.
A couple of those like one-liners that were super funny. And like you never even hear from that character again. But yeah, the Patrick Dempsey character was interesting. Why they put him at the end. Not totally sure on that.
No, they were in love after that, I assume. But
you think?
It just didn't. No. Why would he be at that house and like living with all of them?
I don't know. Because it's like everyone's just, all the survivors that we have left are just like a happy family now.
I guess.
I think that it was really cool. I thought that the ending was really cool with like the gate opening and then like the door kind of, she just leaves the door open kind of thing. I think that it did a lot. You know, we've been through a lot with Sydney and we know how like anxious and obviously like for reasons like stressed the fuck out she is all the time. For her to like be able to move past it, I thought was cool. I also don't know if I agree because we've seen the killer be 5 different people. Like, do you think this shit just stops? I don't think so.
No, this is definitely, they made this to continue forever. Like someone's going to always be a copycat or there's going to be someone.
So you say that, but I don't necessarily agree. I thought that they did a pretty good job with like tying the series together, right?
If that was the case.
If they didn't make another,
there's 3 other movies after
for sure, soon to be 4. I agree, but looking at the structure of this as a trilogy, you couldn't have ended. I guess maybe you could have ended the series after the second one, but like the third one did such a good job tying things together that I don't need a 4th, right?
No, not at all.
Where I think I needed a 3rd.
Yes, you definitely agree with you on that.
So I think they did a really good job tying the series up. I'm honestly, I haven't seen 4, 5, or 6, so I'm interested to see where they go from here.
You've never seen them?
No.
Oh, me neither. I assumed you did because you're such a Scream head.
Dude, I love this. I love the first one so much. It is like, honestly, could be my favorite horror movie of all time.
See, no, I don't. I don't see why you agree. Think this. Well, I don't. Halloween is so fucking good.
I agree. Halloween is fantastic, but we did Halloween was that last year? That was our last like big series like this that we did. And I thought
we did Final Destination. We did, I know you did last summer.
All right. We literally just finished 28 blah, blah, blahs later. What I will say is that I love this movie because of how self-aware it is. I think that the meta adds a ton to the series to where it knows what it's supposed to be. It addresses, puts the concerns that it has to meet. Not like the directors are sitting around thinking, well, how do we make the sequel better than the first movie? They put that discussion in the movie. how do we tie this series together? Like, how do we have our resolution come clean? And I thought that this did a fantastic job. I love this series. I don't really remember exactly what the question was that we started with, but I'd say this is probably my favorite series, specifically as an actual trilogy in horror.
That was the question completely. And you still think that this is the best slasher trilogy you've ever seen?
I think so.
Over like, yeah, no way.
We'll see what happens in the next couple. But man, I love these first three. And I think it's also fun because you have specifically Kevin Williamson, who is such a new writer when this first comes out. Seeing him develop as a writer, I think also is really cool to see. You can see it getting more complex. You can see him having fun in the first one and then realizing, oh, like this is what it means to write a sequel, and getting better at writing. And then he's the first credited writer in the third one. So I imagine he at least had something to do with it, but maybe he didn't. I'm not totally sure.
Last I saw, like, it just said written by the other dude.
Yeah. And again, another thing that I really liked, that the third one, and if he had nothing to do with it, then kudos to this guy that wrote Scream 3, because I think he did a fantastic job. Whereas in the first one, like, they always talk about don't show or like don't tell the audience, show the audience. And I think that the audience or like the writing in the third one is so good because it does a really good job with not just telling the audience, hey, this is happening, or like having the characters, you know, specifically like a Randy type character who lays out the rules. That's just telling your audience. But I think they do a really good job of showing what is happening, why things are working, right? They're doing the meta. They're not just telling you that it's meta through dialogue. They're showing it's in this world that is made around this Scream or Stab universe. I just thought it was done incredibly well.
No, I'm with you. I thought they were great. I don't think it's my favorite.
It's fair.
And we've already kind of talked about this. So prove me wrong. How is this better than Halloween in your opinion? Other than what you said.
I mean, are we talking about Halloween 1 and 2?
Yeah, I guess it would be 1 and 2, or Rob Zombie's 1 and 2, or it'd be the last 3.
Fair. Yeah. Halloween Kills, Halloween Ends. Yeah. My only thing would be that these movies are just, I think they're the most fun of the horror genre that I can like think of, to where you watch it and it's exciting, it's suspenseful, right? They're not the most brutal for sure. I think that Rob Zombies are probably the most brutal, although the third trilogy of Halloween is also pretty tough.
I don't know, that whole guts out part in the first Scream is pretty fucking brutal.
For sure. But it's almost like it's done a little bit childish. It's aware that it's going to be a little silly. It's poking fun at itself. It's self-referential. It is a horror movie made in love, like that was made about someone that loves the horror genre. And I think that you can see that a lot. And I don't know, I just appreciate it a lot because, one, it resurrected the slasher genre, but two, it just shows how like you can feel the passion and how fun Kevin Williamson and Wes Craven are having making these movies. The settings are fantastic. We have these whodunits that like you really don't know until the end. Like you can try to predict and maybe you could get it, but I had no idea. Specifically in this third one, I was like, I almost knew that it was going to be a sibling of Sydney's, but I had no idea who that sibling was. Yeah.
No, I thought it was.
They just kept bringing up Maureen, and I was like, why is she being involved? And I was like, oh, she moved to Hollywood. Definitely weird pedophile parties.
I definitely thought it was going to be that girl that played Sydney. That was my pick.
Super weird. I literally have it like so many times in my notes. Like it's her. I know it's her. I don't know what it was about her. And then she's like in the bathroom and stuff like that. I just thought that was interesting. Best kill of the movie. We don't have a ton to choose from in this movie.
Well, I don't think there was something that like stuck out. I think everything was just like cut and dry.
Yeah. I thought that Sydney or Dewey, I guess. So it's not even a Ghostface kill. It's Dewey's kill, killing Roman, the killer. I thought was like, shoot him in the fucking head. Like, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Well, also like, yeah, the explosion is probably definitely the best kill.
Ooh, oh yeah, the explosion's awesome. I thought the one-way mirror scene was really cool.
Oh, with Parker Posey, yeah.
Yeah. Where she's stuck behind the glass. I like honestly, Parker Posey is probably my favorite character in the third movie.
Oh, really?
Because she's so interesting.
Annoying. She's also so annoying that you're like, she does a really good job being that character.
Being Gale.
It's also like, if you've seen other movies with Parker Posey, that is exactly what Parker Posey does.
Yeah. All right. Favorite line from the movie?
Dewdrop.
Dewdrop. I have that written down somewhere in my notes as well. So funny.
All right, Dewdrop. You're a failed cop. I've been a bodyguard for Jennifer Aniston, Julia Roberts. Why don't you go ahead and take the charge?
All right. My favorite line is also going to come. It's Dewey saying it, but he's in his fucking trailer that's on Jennifer is her name. Yeah. He says, if you weren't so concerned with pretensions and appearances, you'd be able to appreciate the positivity and emotional centeredness I provide a woman.
Oh yeah, to Gale.
Those scenes where like Dewey goes from being really like an idiot to like super thoughtful. I just thought they're so funny because he's definitely an idiot. And yeah,
it was also like half of the movie was just like Dewey. There was just like two girls that were just like yelling for Dewey the whole time.
I also really liked in the final scene when Roman is explaining or like starting to explain what or why he's doing things. And Sydney just straight up is like, won't you just get on with it? I've heard this shit before. She's like, dude, just fucking kill me. Don't even like, I don't need to fucking know. All your reasons are fucking bullshit. Like, just fucking kill me, dude.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I forgot to mention in the second movie where someone says, you're acting real Linda Hamilton about things.
Yeah.
And like, it's a nod to Terminator 2.
Yep. Which is a final girl situation.
Well, like in the first Terminator, Linda Hamilton was like distraught. And then the second one, she's like the most badass person you'll ever see. Like you can see where Sydney like changed and turned into this. Like, I'm here to fucking destroy people. I'm over this. Like that whole fight with Ronan, like pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I think we get to see, I think that's like the biggest thing too, is like, I don't know so much that you get to see like, I guess a little bit in the final trilogy of Halloween where Laurie kind of becomes a fucking badass, but we get to see Sydney changing and adapting through these movies. And it's really cool to see. I'm excited to see her, I'm assuming in the next couple movies and how that progresses. But yeah, she's a pretty fucking badass final chick.
Yeah. I can't believe you haven't seen the new Screams.
Nope, I haven't.
Love Scream.
All right, I do. Well, I love it. Speaking of which, that will be our next main event episode that we're going to be doing Scream 4 through 6. Yeah. What do you got for us, Jamie? Make sure you guys tune into that one if you like this one.
I just have a big thank you. If you've stayed till the end, we really appreciate it.
Yeah. Kudos to you.
Yeah. Please like and subscribe. Like we said, why are you laughing at me?
Me?
You.
Well, I didn't laugh at you.
Oh, I saw you laughing. Maybe I'm just self-conscious.
Now I'm laughing.
Well, with that being said, we will take you home with Please Stay Wicked.
And stay weird.
But also
stay wasted. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends.
I already said that.
I want to drink the Cosmos. I want to.